My favorite movie is Defending Your Life. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's just such a brilliant film and it gets you to think about so much. And I've watched it so many times because the very first time I didn't understand what I was defending or should be defending because see the guy had died and what is he defending? And he was defending his life and he was really defending why he made certain choices. But what he didn't understand is that he didn't make certain choices because of fear. And you find that that's really the difficulty that we all have is that we're not making certain choices because we have a bit of fear of something, of what we might discover, what others might think of us or our families or whatever, and you might really be feeling that right now. And I'm recording this on the day after Christmas. And so I want to tell you because I was driving home last night from seeing my family, and I'm thinking, I haven't done enough. And I don't want to be in that state in that movie where they're being judged that you didn't really do enough because you couldn't own yourself because you didn't have the courage and fear stopped you. And guess what? I know that's true for all of us. Because if we didn't have that, we could have these really wonderful lives and we would have changed the world. Because, see, that's what Wilhelm told me, that they had given me the ability that we could do that. And I said, no, that's not possible. And that's what we would all say. Because, see, I knew the world was changing, and then how does that happen? How do we change? I went back to that movie and I'm thinking about it, and I said every step and every misstep that he discovered about his life was because he reached a place where he was too afraid to take the next step. And so I thought, I don't want to do that, and I don't want others to not do that because, see, now I know that what I was supposed to do is tell you who you're meant to become in this world because I know who you can become because you were born with this worth and value and something that when you develop it, it would start to change the world because you really start to understand that energy is everything in the universe. And so the more people who are really loving themselves, who know who they are and who can achieve something, that creates an energetic shift. Now, see, I was told that information and I thought that doesn't even make sense, except it was also the life that I've lived, you see, because we come into the world and we have all these little broken parts within us. And if we can heal those, maybe we would heal physically, mentally, spiritually. And when I started receiving the messages from Wilhelm, that's exactly what happened. But then owning that and having the courage to talk about it was like, that's too challenging. Because when I was first starting to receive this, I said, I can't tell people that this is going on. And then people started finding me. I started being uncovered. You might have that when people come up to you and say, I know who you are. I know what you can do. Well, you had it when you were younger. You had it from your instructors or teachers or whoever. They could always see your potential and you couldn't. But that's a setup. It's supposed to be that way. We're supposed to help one another. We don't live forever. But then what happens is we reach a place in our civilization where things aren't working as well as they could have. And so we're kind of forced to do something different. We have to force to think in a new way. And then when that happens, things are born, new inventions, new creations. And so I discovered my life gave me a new creation, which was a new philosophy. And I was wondering why I was moving through all of the things that I had in my life and why I was experiencing so much. And it was for this moment I discovered. And then I discovered everyone has that moment. Everyone has that time, that place in their life where they can say, this is who I'm meant to be, and it's okay for me to own that. And then there's a time in our history where it is really valuable for more people to that be able to do that. And that time is now. And then that's what I have to do as well. So when I came back, when I came home, I said, let me search for a message. Because see, I've also been told that I was given an encyclopedia of personal development, self-actualization, and ascension tools that any person could use, and it would cause them to understand who they are and start to live this really great life. And this already happened, but I had trouble really accepting and believing that, as you will always have trouble in accepting that next thing that's in front of you because it's always in front of you and you haven't done it yet. But you can, because we've also discovered that we can change our brains, because that's the only reason that we think we can't do something is because we've been taught something for the longest time and continued to believe it. That's the neuroscience of it all. That's individually, but then also collectively, meaning in our society. Because Wilhelm said there's aspects, because people were asking, why would you need a new philosophy? Because Wilhelm said your world is not operating the way it could. I have to go back and I listen to the channeling sessions, and I hear that all the time. They say, we gave you everything you needed to change your life and your world. The only problem is you didn't believe us. And I can say that because I didn't believe it, even though I was healing at 74, and I still didn't believe it. So then when I did that, and I come home and just like I found all the other things, because I'm supposed to tell you, you're going to find stuff as well. We all have things within us that have not been developed. Otherwise, there would be no reason for us to be alive. That's it. We may not choose to look at it or develop it, and that is a choice as well. And that's the thing I've got to tell people. You do have a choice because you were born with something of value and it just needs to be developed. And now is the time that you're meant to do that. Miraculous things begin to happen when you decide to do it. And sometimes it's really challenging because you've got to look at all this stuff you think you screwed up or you messed up or didn't go well. And none of that was ever true. You were learning so much. And then you become aware of your worth and value at a certain point. But I'm going to read you this message because I know this one will help you because it's going to cause you to become much more honest in looking at yourself. When you really examine who you are without all the other stuff you've been telling yourself about why you couldn't be something, you start to find that you have this wealth of information and wisdom and strength that's within you, and it always develops. I have never found a single human where that doesn't happen, except you may not do it or you may not want to. I have seen because that is what I have done. Now, but this is the message. Okay, now, if you think of any experience in your life that you felt that was really terrible, or these particular times that you might be living in now, or that the world is whatever it might be, this message will make a lot of sense for you. January 11th, 2020. You needed this experience. First of all, we must explain. Again, there is nothing of a physical nature that any of you need to live a happy and fulfilled life. However, on an emotional, spiritual, and mental level, that is a different story. We must also set the premise, although many of you refuse to believe it. You each are born with specific things you wanted to accomplish in this lifetime. Those individual accomplishments then add to your personal expansion or evolvement and to all that is or collective consciousness. None of you are more or less important than another. That is the part you all still maintain difficulty in believing and accepting. Decades ago, we gave Roger information on the power of your emotions. He is still coming to understand this. The premise for that was all of your emotions are valid and will lead you to your beliefs if you don't judge them. None of them are good or bad, or those are merely labels you each make up. Roger has known that his experience of anger holds valuable information if he can release that judgment. Rogers also labeled himself as a sensitive person, which has caused challenges. There are two sides to every emotion and experience, so pick one that serves you now. Here is the story, albeit one Roger does not want to tell. Yesterday, while watching a movie, Roger happened to see a notification on his phone of a message on Facebook. When he examined the message, he became angry and needed to answer it immediately. The essence of the message was the person felt Roger was giving others false hope as to what others might accomplish in their lives. Roger has also known and felt that his role on the earth was to dispel that myth. Roger responded and then immediately felt horrible and carried that feeling the rest of the evening. Now we must say, the person apologized, but Roger has yet to read this. The important part here for him and why he needed this experience is that he can never accomplish what he desires if he remains too sensitive. We told him to find his harsh response and post it here. Many of you will see through his example how you judge yourselves needlessly, and it is your interpretations of events that hold you back from what you might accomplish in this world. Here is the response Roger judged as being far too harsh. I have been coaching for more than 30 years, and I have taken people who have no natural talent or ability and developed them into becoming, well, not great singers, but decent and somewhat good singers. I believe in the potential of anything people desire to achieve if they take the time and are shown the correct skills and techniques to develop that talent. I never do anything just for money. You obviously do not know me, and that comment was a bit insulting. But I do wish you the best in your career. And that message and that response was exactly what I would say. And that's what I'm doing now because I know what you can accomplish and I know what I can accomplish, but I was holding myself back as well. But I'm saying this because I want you all to know that there are no limits. We can accomplish anything. I keep finding all the information that Wilhelm has given me. And so now I'm saying I'm putting this together. I want others to put together what you were given in this world. That's what I'm directing people to do because obviously that was my gift when I resisted receiving this information because it was so different in the way that it came about. But then when it started making sense in terms of scientific terms, and I can explain it all now, which is what I'm putting together for next year, which is why I'm expanding my entire work because I know that more people are going to want it, and I need to get it much more expansive globally because I know what it can do for you, for our world, and our future. So thank you so much for being here. Check out all my work. Please subscribe to the channel if it's your first time and leave your comments and just decide to really love yourself and become who you can become. See you soon.